2023 CFL Winter Meetings one-on-one with Ottawa Redblacks General Manager Shawn Burke. There was a lot of talk during the season about Jeremiah Masoli and the shot that he took from Garrett Marino, but I think what a lot of people are curious about now is his health. How is Mr. Masoli doing?
He's doing great. He was up just before Christmas up in Ottawa, visiting the surgeons and our team doctor. Got a clean bill of where he's supposed to be at. Probably has about a month to 6 weeks left of some rehab just to get full strength around the leg and everything, but the repair is great. He can have most of the offseason just to be a quarterback and work with receivers, and he's coming up to Ottawa as of this week for the entire offseason, and we're just excited to see him get back on the field on the first day of training camp.
So was that ahead of schedule, or was that always the...
No, it was he got a little behind the schedule with some infection stuff he had during the year that we've talked about a bit. So we thought originally that he might have had an outside chance of getting back for the end of the season, but with that setback of the infection, it pushed him a bit back, and now we're taking things at a bit of a different, more casual pace, but we do want him to have as much of the offseason as possible, like I said, to get beyond that rehab stage and get into just getting ready for the season wise.
You've been adamant that Masoli is going to be your quarterback going into the 2023 season, and what would speak to that is the six-figure $100,000 bonus that he's going to collect on January 15th. Why are you so adamant about Masoli being able to lead this franchise to a Grey Cup?
Well, I think everyone saw what he's put on the field when he's been on the field, and he's led teams to great seasons. Obviously, I've been part of some of those teams. Secondly, just what he is to our organization in the short time that he was on the field, which was just training camp in the 4 weeks. I think if you talk to any player or staff member within our organization, he rose the boat for the team, and that's what you want out of that position, a guy that leads a team, holds the team accountable, holds them to a standard. I think we went through part of the season where we didn't have him in the room when he wasn't able to be there, and we missed that leadership and just a lot of confidence in him, and that was reinforced by all the people that went through the interview process as the head coach. I can't say one that was sitting there saying, I don't think I can win with Jeremiah Masoli, and most importantly, that's what Bob believed in. Bob got to see what I'm talking about firsthand through the year and who Jeremiah is, and until you work with someone, you hear things, but seeing it daily is different, and he's got the opportunity to see it daily. Obviously, I have close to a decade of it daily, and just the progression of Jeremiah as a professional has just been outstanding through his career.
Jeremiah showed that right from the jump of the season, that he quickly built a rapport with largely a new group of receivers. Yes, he knew Jalen Ackland, and they had a great rapport, but you guys were right in those two games against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who were the two-time defending Grey Cup champs. And of course, the injury happens, but how excited are you to have him healthy, also with the group that you were able to put in place last year in terms of remaking that roster?
Yeah, really excited. I think some of the biggest teaching points or getting used to each other is certain parts of the field on the football field, and to have that ability where Jalen's back under contract, Nate Bahar's re-signed, Justin Hardy's back, COC Mariner's a guy that we really like up and coming in our lineup, and we still have a bit of work to do offensively, either before free agency or during free agency, but it's not him starting from scratch with everyone except Ackland, and I think you'll see some results on the field that it's just he knows where guys will be, time and space, how they run routes, because everyone, as much as there's rules, everyone has their own nuances or pace to things, and excited. He's a student of the game, and he'll know how everyone operates.
Jalen Ackland had, I believe, one NFL workout, if not more. Do you anticipate him coming back, or do you think he'll sign south of the border?
No, I think Jalen will be back. He had the one workout, and I think Jalen's at the point where he's very happy in the situation. We love having him in Ottawa. I don't anticipate, never say never. We understand that Jalen and many other players, didn't grow up wanting to play for the Redblacks. They grew up following an NFL team, and we'll always help those guys and respect their decisions. But I fully anticipate Jalen to be back and be impactful in our roster again.
And then at the running back position, I believe William Powell's a pending free agent. Have you had negotiations with him, or what do you see going on?
I think William's at a stage where he's probably thinking about things. Bob and myself had exit meetings with everyone, and William expressed that he was looking at several off-field things in football. That things change. Sometimes it's the newness of the season just ending. But we got Williams under contract, who we thought did a good job for us last year. We got Jackson Bennett re-signed, and we'll find some other guys to come in and compete and go from there.
Yeah, on defense, the big one I'm sure everybody's bugging you about, Lorenzo Mauldin. You brought him over from the Tiger Cats, had an outstanding year, wins the league award for the most outstanding defensive player. It just seemed like he was so consistent, getting after the quarterback, but pressuring, disrupting in the run game, all kinds of things that you would know much better than I would. Where do things stand with him in terms of contract negotiation?
Actively talking. I think sometimes certain contracts take a little longer to come together. The reality is Lorenzo was on a really good deal for us last year, really team-friendly deal, and he deserves to be paid, and we're trying to find that avenue of what fits for the team and him. And, I always tell players, ultimately I like to be able to pay every player whatever they want, but we work within a system with a salary cap, and we have to put a team together at the same time. So it's the give and take, it's the communication, it's him understanding what we're trying to do, and me understanding that he's trying to help his family. Don't take anything personally, work through it together. There's a lot of trust built up with 4 years working together. So we're working actively through it. No promises. Free agency happens for the players for a reason. They have the opportunity to pursue things and see what their value is out in the open market, and we have to respect and understand that. But we're actively trying to get them done before free agency.
Do you feel like he's grateful in the sense that you brought him over to Ottawa and really gave him the first full-time role that he's had?
I think Lorenzo's a great person. I don't think he should be grateful for anything. He's created his own opportunities. I don't think I found Lorenzo Mauldin. He was a great football player long before. He was an NFL draft pick. Sometimes it's just time and place, and he got the opportunity to shine, and he ran with it. Like you're saying, it wasn't just about the sacks. It was what he brought in each game with effort level, physicality, run defense, pass, everything. Just certainly took on a leadership role within our team. So he should be congratulated. We're excited to try to make him continue to be a Red Black and actively trying to make that happen.
And what about similar situation for Antoine Pruneau? He's been with the Red Blacks for so long, a guy that I feel like is synonymous with that organization since they started. He was the first draft pick with the team. Do you think he's at the point where he's considering retirement, or does he want to come back, and might he be back?
Antoine and myself, since day one, we've had a very open and great relationship where, he lives in the community. He's able to come into the office, and we said, let us get through the coaching hiring, let us get through all the staff so I can give this honest answer of where he's at to help our football team. And, he transitioned into a different role last year. And I always want a player to understand their role before making a decision. So we're going to have a conversation next week, be open about it and see where it goes.
One of the guys that you have re-signed is Devontae Dedmon. We haven't mentioned him yet. Obviously a great returner. Has there been any talks already to maybe get him a package on the offense?
Yeah, I think ultimately you want to get the football in playmakers' hands. And what that extent is, it all depends, right? You want to have the same effectiveness as a special team player. It's a heavy workload. Some guys have done it. Chad Owens had his great year doing it, and Deontay Spencer in Ottawa had a great year doing it. But it's not necessarily the plan for everyone. But I do think there's certain segments of the game that you can get Devontae in. He can definitely be a receiver. He can be a running back. I know Kahari's excited to work with him. Bob's excited to work with him, and we'll see what it brings.
What do you think it means to the Red Blacks to have Kahari Jones as your offensive coordinator? Like, he's a guy that could be a great head coach in this league. So do you feel fortunate to have him as an OC?
Yeah, it was really, we interviewed Kahari in the head coaching process, and I've known Kahari, it was almost sad to say, close to 13 years from my time in Hamilton with them. Made both of us feel old. But just a great person, but more importantly, the credibility he brings right away from the career he had and how he's been successful as a coach, both as a position coach first, then as a coordinator, and then obviously as a head coach. And, Kahari has this demeanor of, the low-key California vibe, but he's as competitive as they come. And when you can have great people attached to your organization, it always benefits you. So really excited to get him and his family in the building and work with us.
What's it been like for you, Shawn, getting used to living in the nation's capital? You have a young family. You've obviously moved to the city. How's that all been for you?
Great. Ottawa is a beautiful city. I think sometimes everyone says they love coming there, so it's maybe a bit of a detriment at times that the road teams like coming too much. But honestly, beautiful city. Some of the things that were important to me when taking the job, I had a very, very good situation in Hamilton. Really enjoyed working there, and it had to be the right situation for me to leave. And it was about having the stability in the ownership group, and our group's excellent that way. Having people that I really would enjoy working for and reporting to, which I have with Mark and Adrian, and then just having the ability to have the resources to do things. I was used to that a previous stop in Hamilton, and all they always ask is what they can do to help. And, our job now is to put W's on the field. I'm more excited today than I was probably a year ago. A year ago, I was an outsider that didn't really know too many people in Ottawa, didn't know what the organization was about, didn't know the business side staff members, all the ones that pour their heart and soul into the organization, and now I know all that. So, it's going to be fruitful when it comes. Last year was definitely a display of patience at times, but never at any point did I lose any excitement. I always felt our team was competing week in and week out, no matter what was going on, and I felt we had the next man up mentality that played as a fast, physical football team that gave each team each week the challenge that they deserved to be challenged by us.
How do you create that excitement around the team to sort of reinvigorate the fans at your home stadium, just because of the poor record that's been there and the advantage that it can be?
Yeah, well, first it comes down to that is we have to play better at home, and it was talked about in the head coaching interviews that we have to be a better home team. The reality is we went 4-5 on the road, and most 4-5 football teams on the road usually get into the playoffs because their home record's much better, and we weren't that. So we got to do that. We got to play fast, exciting football in our stadium. It's got to be something that our fans enjoy. They're our biggest stakeholders. We have to entertain them. Obviously, they've gone through a few year stretch, and all I keep saying is it's about being the 2023 Redblacks, not anything that's happened in the past.
Well, we'll look forward to that fast, exciting football at home and see the rise of the Redblacks. And hopefully, I think everyone around the league wants to see a healthy Jeremiah Masoli on the field. It sounds like he's on track to do so. So thanks for sharing some perspective, Shawn. Appreciate it.
Thank you.